Mark. Hey, how long are we gonna be? What is it? 30 minutes, 20 minutes?
30 minutes, could be 30 minutes, could be 40 minutes. Yeah, it's as the conversation goes, yeah, there's no set time.
Okay. Tell Mark 30 minutes will be
Let's do this.
Okay. Okay,
I got somebody. I have some
your little
people
countdown
trying to
here.
come over the house. Okay, let's go, brothers. Mark, you look much better with the Georgetown gears on.
Much better.
Well, I need to get one of those that you got on. Talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Get me hooked up.
It's called bookstore, man.
Yeah, you ain't get that from the bookstore. Trust me, I know you.
You know me? You know me because I play at Georgetown. That's why you know me. You
Exactly.
Look at this. If you go to bookstore,
You might have got that from the bookstore. I'm talking about the jacket you got on.
I'm glad.
I'm talking about the jacket you got on. You didn't get that jacket from the bookstore. Believe me.
Okay, fellas. This will be witching hour. We're 5 minutes late. Want to thank you both for being here. This is Hoya Locker Room, episode 28. I have two distinguished gentlemen, Markhum Stansbury and Dikembe Mutombo. Teammates, 1987 through 91. I want to thank you both for being here on a Sunday. I know you're both God-fearing men, and I really appreciate you taking your time out to be here. The goal of Hoya Locker Room is today to promote Mutombo coffee.
Yeah.
This is not an official mug, but I did pre-order my coffee, so I will be doing a formal and an informal review.
Definitely.
On your store shelf soon. If you need any help branding, let me know.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, I want to thank you both for being here. My audio is a little weak, so if you guys can speak up, I really appreciate it. And you know I'm a little hard of hearing anyway. I just want to start this show off with just again thanking you both. And if we could just start with the Georgetown brand, what that means to you guys, where you see it at now, and where you see it at for the future.
I don't know if Mark wants to start though, but first I want to say thank you for having me at the Hoya Locker Room. It's my first time. It's such a great privilege for me to come in and share with my fans and with the Hoyas fans and the Hoyas community, you know, what is Hoyas all about. We are a great family. We come from a deep tradition. From the hilltop, that's where we come from. And I'm just happy with the direction that our new coach is taking the team. Me as a father, and I also will say that I'm so thankful and happy for the fact that my youngest son is looking forward to go to the hilltop and play basketball. That will make me be more exciting with your question than anything else.
Yeah, I would, as far as the brand, Gene, the Georgetown basketball brand is one of the most iconic in all of sports, I think. And that has a lot to do with what you guys did. Yeah, I mean, 84, and even before that was just because of the way Big John carried himself, Hoya paranoia, guys graduating and winning a lot of games at the same time, and doing it in a in-your-face kind of way. It's a huge stamp, not just on the culture of collegiate basketball, but all the sports. people talk all the time about the iconic starter jackets and how important that was to have back in the day. And hopefully we'll get back to that soon.
Well, what I'd like to add to where I see the Georgetown brand, I think with our current coach, it's almost like a 360 effect. And I think, we clearly are moving in the right direction. But I guess I just wanted to speak to the fact that no one's probably holding themselves to a higher standard than our current coach. And no one's more aware of what the brand stands for. Is that something you guys knew about, after you graduated? Is that something that is part of your daily, like you find the brand still as strong as it once was?
Yes, for me, the brand's still strong. They have not gone nowhere. We continue to feel like we are such part of a great institution, a great basketball program. As Mark stated, that all of that got to do with the legacy that Big John left behind. I think he left us with a great platform, and he left the program in the hands of another great Hoyas. Someone that, especially me, that I respect so much, we all respect so much, Coach Ewing, someone who did devote his life when he was there at Georgetown, did as much as he can to put Georgetown on the top. And he went out to play in the league, and he did continue to represent the Georgetown University in a great way. And he decided to come home and to carry the legacy that Big John have. And I think that where we all feel great that the program might not be the best today, but it will be the best tomorrow. So I have
Mark,
a great faith for him.
Yeah, Mark, if I can get a little bit more specific, what I'm trying to touch on is this is 2020, and this has been an incredible year in terms of, loss, change. The country's been turned upside down. We're going through our second round of a pandemic.
Right.
I always felt the Georgetown brand, obviously we take care of business on the court, but we were very symbolic of the culture. And that's kind of what I'm speaking to. What does that look like in 2020? And how can we, as former players, more or less follow in Dikembe's lead? Because I think Dikembe as an ambassador, and I'm not saying this just because you're on the show, but as an ambassador, you carry that Georgetown flag proudly. I think you speak to the legacy, you speak to the history. But Markhum, if I could, be a little bit more specific with you, how do you think someone like you and I, because this is what Hoya Locker Room means to me, continuing that brand, extending the brand, what other ways do you think we can touch on that can help aid and assist?
I think one of the main ways is supporting each other. And, Dikembe has his coffee, you have Hoya Locker Room, Jerome Williams has a foundation, Robert Churchwell has a foundation, Lonzo Mourning does the things he's doing down in Florida with Zoe's. I think he does a winter and summer group now, but he does a lot of charity work in the Miami area. And, there are lots of people.
I'm open the door.
Lots of people in our program who are doing things beyond basketball. We certainly have a number of guys in the league now, but basketball is a vehicle for us. It's not what we are. I think Dikembe, if he had gone to any other school besides Georgetown, he'd still be doing some of the great things off the court that he does. I mean, Dikembe could probably speak more to it, but I can remember, I I always tell people all the time that when people come to a school like Georgetown to play basketball, there was a point where everybody that came through the door thought they were playing in the NBA. I don't think Dikembe, when he started at Georgetown, thought he would play in NBA. I think he wanted to be a doctor. Dikembe wanted to be a doctor, and I don't think, quite frankly, anybody who saw him when he started at Georgetown would have said this guy is going to end up being a Hall of Famer when he was running around the courts up at Yates playing intramural basketball.
I've heard so much about the intramural Dikembe team with him and John Turner. could you elaborate on that, Markhum, a little bit?
Let Dikembe tell you. I mean, because
Dikembe,
my intramural career was very, because of my situation being a manager with the basketball team, my intramural career was very short. I think I played 3 games as a freshman. I was giving buckets, but it was like Michael Jordan before Scottie Pippen got there.
You were still thinking about walking on, right, at that time?
Yeah, I was trying to get a uniform.
I tell you what, Gene, I went there to play just to have fun, because everyone in the dorm was asking me to come play, but I ended up to be the MVP, I think I blocked a couple of mark shots. I was blocking everybody. But I didn't know that Big John used to come at Yates and watch me. It was not after a couple of years that he had a chance to tell me that. He said, son, we was watching you for a long time when I was on campus. So that made me very proud that I was being scouted from long distance.
I'll take it that you guys won the championship.
Yes, we did.
Hey, they had a 7-footer playing against 5-footers. That's
whether he was a fan favorite.
But as a matter of fact, I posted about this in the class of '91 Facebook group last night, and I was told that Darnell took y'all to 3 overtimes. So, for you to get taken to 3 overtimes, some guys just walking around campus with an NBA Hall of Famer on their team, I don't know what that says.
That says they told their kids that story.
Yes. Matter of fact, I have a good friend from upstate New York. He was able to share with me some of the photos from those games. It's amazing to look at it. Great memories.
Great memories. Before I ask you guys a few more questions, because again, I want to be mindful of your time. I do want to remember 2 of your teammates that passed away that was on that 90-91 team. Chip Harris, Chip Sims, and Charles Harrison.
Yes.
Both of your teammates, if there's anything you want to share, like a story or something, that would be pretty awesome, I think. But I did want to make sure I gave that acknowledgement because they were your teammates.
Yeah, well, also David Edwards.
David Edwards as well. Thank you, Markhum.
Yeah. Yes. Chip was amazing. He was one of the hard-working guys, you haven't seen. He did whatever he could do there in the basketball court to earn his minute. He was letting coach know that I want to play. I don't want to be one of the guys who just come in, sit on the bench. I don't want to be one of those guys that you have given a scholarship because I'm a good basketball player, but I'm not going to get my time there. And he did what he could do to earn his minute. God bless his soul that is no longer with us. But David, oh God, maybe he was one of the best God I haven't seen. And as short as he was, with his speed, you could not underestimate him. I never got a chance to play basketball before, so it was my first time being there on the court with a little man like that, with the speed coming out from New York, and everyone was talking about him and how many records that he broke in New York City. He was amazing. Charles was a great teammate, man. He was one of my rookie when I was a senior. We tried to guard him in the best way. He was a quiet kid, man. He never spoke much. Very quiet. Mark will tell you that. He never spoke. And Gina will tell you the truth. He was one of the most respectable guys, man. Never spoke so much. Very quiet and always loved to listen first and go do his thing. And we will miss those guys.
What I would say about David was very talented with the ball, passing, fun-loving guy. Same Charles Harrison, quiet, but had a great sense of humor. But out of those three guys, I would say that Chip, probably more than anybody, really embodied what Georgetown basketball is about.
Yeah.
He was a walk-on.
Yes.
But
top 35 player in Louisiana.
Yeah, he was a walk-on, but he didn't see himself as, oh, I'm a walk-on. I'm here to be a practice player and for people to be. He was there to compete.
Yes.
And, I love that. Like we're cut from the same cloth in that way. Like he will compete, no matter who you are. I remember stories about him playing Allen Iverson. Legend has it that he beat AI and one-on-one. But maybe Dikembe can get his former teammate, call him up, and we can get Allen on here to confirm or deny that.
And I just want to echo that. Reading up and doing some research for you guys coming on, that's the thing that stuck out at me the most was Chip Sims, and a statement he made. He basically said what we all say. Sometimes going to practice was like being in the classroom. And he felt, Coach Thompson was a professor that, he was learning something from every time we had to practice. And to me, that's when I talk about the Georgetown brand, I'm talking about the players that make up that brand, that embody those ethos that I think also the university stands for. So that's why I get so charged up when I talk about the Georgetown brand. Want to transition, Dikembe. Markhum was manager of the year 3 years in a row. Okay, I'm trying to figure out how that happened. Was it rigged? Was there nobody else showing up? Explain that to me, because I met Markhum before he got to Georgetown. And okay, I'm trying to clean up my language on the show, but he was an asshole then. So explain to me how he was manager of the year 3 years in a row.
I think what made Mark to be one of the best managers during my time there, that I think a lot got to do with his ethic. He was very disciplined. He did everything that the coach wants any manager to be. He followed the rule. He made sure the player did have what they're supposed to have. He took care of us. And the floor was always clean. The bus
He is a referee. How was he as a referee?
There was no places that we went, coach was fussing him for something. And Mark was making sure that everything was good. And he was not alone. He did have other partners that did work. And he did have a great cast that was with him, including Wayne Belt and others. But I think he did have a great mentorship coming out from
Kenny Brown.
And Mark Thompson. And he learned a lot from those who came before him. And he was around with Seed as well. So Mark was surrounding himself with a great teammate who helped him all the way. But coach did love him so much, so he ended up giving him all the trophy because he was from Memphis.
Markhum, is there anything you want to add to that? And I think it's a remarkable feat. It's never been done before. What did it mean to you? Is that, you want to speak on that?
When you're,
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
when you're in the middle of doing stuff, you're not thinking about it. You were asking about the Georgetown brand earlier. When I came there, it was 3 years after the championship. We were at our peak, and I didn't really realize that I was in kind of historical circumstances. I was, especially after I got fired, I was just like, let me do, maybe that's why I was manager here 3 times in a row. I got fired and was trying to do everything I could.
Does Dikembe know about the firing? Does he know about the firing?
You didn't know that?
Where were you fired from?
When I was a freshman, when you were living in Village C, I was working
Village C, yes, you're right.
Yeah, I was working in the cage, and we had a little incident with national championship Cokes. I was playing on the stage. Yes. I was playing on the stage with one of my coworkers, and I'd taken 6 Cokes to put up in my room. and Big John came down and left a note up under the Cokes and said, "I hope they were worth your scholarship." So I got canned. I was out for like a week, and then they called me back. And after that, I was like, let me make the best Gatorade I can make.
I love that story. That's the best story, Dikembe.
He was a great guy, man. Mark did his best up there. He did earn his scholarship. It's not like anyone can say that Mark was giving a scholarship because he was a nice guy. He was one of the hard workers. You will see Mark by the time you come to the gym before practice. It doesn't matter if you were there an hour before or an hour late, Mark will be there. If you decide to stay for an hour with the assistant coach getting a couple of shots, Mark will be there. So he was always the last one to leave the locker room. So guys always have a great respect of him.
That's awesome. Dikembe, I know you haven't had a chance to watch Hoya locker room. We've had Reggie and his son on. We also had Trey Morning on. And you mentioned earlier, now you're a parent that has a son coming to Georgetown.
Yeah, baby Ryan.
What was that recruitment like? What was that feeling? I can only imagine, Patrick recruiting your son. So if you could share a story or two, that'd be. I'm sure the fans would appreciate it.
I think it was very emotional. I didn't feel like I was putting a pressure to the young man, even though that I love my institution, where I came from, for what they have done for me, what they did for me to go into becoming the kind of Dikembe Mutombo that I am today. I just love Georgetown University as a great institution, including the basketball program under Coach Thompson. And I felt like if there's a way for me to have at least one of my child attend Georgetown University and play basketball, I will do that. And I begged the young man. He did have so many scholarships. He did have more than 22 scholarships. And the last week before his signing, everyone was calling him. Different university was calling him, Florida State, Georgia, St. John, different schools, Stanford. Everybody was calling him, Tulane. And I was like, young man, you'll be happy to be on the hilltop. You will carry on the torch of all the big men you have come out from Georgetown University. And you're going to be coached by the great man, a great mentor, a great teacher who taught me the game, who led me to be where I am, who carried me every summer to make sure that I didn't skip any workout, that I was there with him at the gym to lift the weight in the morning, that I would come on campus in the afternoon to play ball with him. So I felt very good. I'm so happy as a father. And I think my son is very happy too. You can see him today. It felt like he made the right decision to sign up with the Georgetown University.
So there's no doubt he understands what the Georgetown brand represents and what it's all about.
You have to remember too, Jane, he has a sister who's in the second year of law school at Georgetown, who also, my daughter, who went to Georgetown undergrad. So I think that kind of facilitated a little bit for him making the decision. So he did have his sister influence as well, not just me.
So thank you to the Mutombo family.
Was leaning on him.
Markhum, what kind of fan, what kind of father fan will Dikembe be?
I don't want to sit next to Dikembe at the Georgetown game when Ryan Mutombo was playing. I want to be 2 or 3 seats away because those elbows,
to me, Mark. Be nice.
The elbows that come out, he broke a couple of noses. He might be so excited to see his son. Somebody sitting next in the seat next to him might get hurt. This guy is very excited, and rightfully so. You know, rightfully so. I've met Ryan a couple of times. Saw him when Dikembe got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I have friends who teach at Ryan's school, so I've been keeping an eye on him, and you know, we'll be excited. I do have to say, you know, having lived with Dikembe, known him for all these years, I'm very appreciative that he named his son Ryan and not Dikembe Mutombo, Muplanda, Mukamba, Jean-Jacques Wa Mutombo. That'd have been tough for my man Ryan to learn how to spell all of that. Did I get that right?
Yes, you got it right. You've been around too long.
I want to know if he got a dope card over there.
Off the dome.
Off the dome. You both have spent considerable amount of your post-graduate career on Georgetown boards, various boards, making your contribution even after graduating. What's been the most fulfilling thing that you've done post-graduation as it relates to alumni services, giving back to the university, that you could share with us?
I think being a Hoya, being a graduate from Georgetown University, all the teachers about going out and serving the humanity. I think that the Georgetown University, about serving others, being a good citizen, serving the humanity and serving your society, whatever you are. And I think the greatest thing I've done, Gene, I'll tell you that devoting myself to the place where I come from and seeing the poverty from youngest age and going out there, building a $30 million hospital, my wife and I did. I think that was one of the greatest things, and serving more than 650,000 people who have received the treatment in the last 13 years. I think it doesn't get better than that. As I've been talking to you today, my family now we're in the process of building a high school, which is being built right now. That's going to be finished in May, and the school is going to open in September of 2021 that will serve kids from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. I don't know if I have other mission left in my life, but I think I'm doing God's work. I want to make a difference. I want to make a difference in the place that we're living in. I want to leave the society that I found in a good place, whatever it might be. And I think I'm just fulfilling God's dream.
Awesome. Markhum, I don't know how you follow that, but good luck.
I'm gonna come in second place for sure. I didn't build a hospital, but I have. I've served for many years on the Georgetown African American Advisory Alumni Board that was started by Father O'Donovan, and that's been an amazing experience, promoting the interests of African Americans on the campus and becoming more involved with the community, the Georgetown community. I think is something we all should do. A lot of times, when minorities go to a school like Georgetown, it presents sets of challenges that people don't even think about, and they're so focused on getting the degree and getting out, and when they get out, they are happy to be out and don't want to look back and just keep moving forward. But I think it's important. Not only have I been on the African American Advisory Board, I also did alumni interviews. And even if you don't have money, that's a way you can contribute and give back to the university and help people coming after you, which I think is a great thing to do.
And the reason why I always try to ask that question, because I had my first experience with the Black alumni last summer, and it was one of those just aha moments, and it was like one of those things where what have I been doing or what I've been thinking about in terms of reaching back.
Yes.
And
by the way, that weekend was started by two of our classmates, Eric Woods and Tammy Thompson.
Okay.
Their class of '91.
So I'm going to continue to, seek out a way to connect and contribute to what's going on today, as well as things that are already in movement or in progress.
Yes.
Because I think today in 2020, it's kind of like a situation where humanity is all hands on deck, and it's like Dikembe, you're the perfect model for that. But we all have a role to play.
Yes.
And Hoya Locker Room was started on a whim, and it's turned into something that that I'm proud of. It's turned into something that I want to continue to share with those who wore the blue and gray, my brethren.
Yes.
And then I want to find out ways to connect with the university in ways that make sense, because I think this platform puts a voice that hasn't been heard before. We all played for someone that was an incredible orator, was an incredible teacher. He could speak for all of us. And I think he left a platform for all of us to engage in a way that we're comfortable with. So I do appreciate you both and all that you've done and continuing to reach back. And hopefully there are things on the horizon that we can continue to do collectively. I do have some questions.
I want to add one thing, Jane.
I'm sorry?
I just want to add one thing that
Go ahead.
people get confused when they say reach back or give back. When they say give back, they just don't talk about your pocket. It's all about your time. What can you do to advise somebody else? Georgetown, you have a great minority program right now for the past 7 years that they bring so many African American kids on campus that are trying to find their way in life. So there's always a way. Anybody, you can be a fellow basketball player or former student or who have grown up in a society, have done well or contribute. You can come back, maybe mentor one of the kids, maybe for a day or two, just share what you have learned in life with the young man or the young lady so you can prepare them for the future. And I think that should be a reminder for each one of us as a moral duty, because I say that to so many people even in Africa. Our moral duty is about guiding the future society to a better direction, to a better place. It's not just giving somebody $10 or $100 or $1,000, say go buy his shoes or something. You think you contribute, but how about telling the person, hey, for you to succeed in life, you gotta make sure you wake up in the morning. You gotta make sure you get yourself ready for school. You gotta make sure that you go in class on time. You gotta make sure that you go eat lunch before your next class, so you make sure that you got sugar in your body so you can continue to perform on your best ability. And before you go to sleep, gotta make sure that you eat dinner. And after you eat dinner, don't just go to sleep. Make sure that you open your books. Make sure that you study. Make sure that you do your homework. All of that thing is part of your contribution, but many people don't want to do it. They think that the society is asking them too much. Thank you for talking about that today. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
I want to flip the script a little bit. You're always asking people questions. Dikembe, I think we should ask him a question.
Yes.
That's not part of the show, though.
It is now. So the 80s.
No, it's part of the conversation, Jim. We're having a conversation here.
Yes. The 80s and 90s, obviously, I think represent the peak of Georgetown basketball. You guys in 84 won the championship, obviously. Gene, you lost in 82 to Carolina. In 89, we came up short. But Dikembe, do you think if the 89 team played the 84 team, who you think would have come out on top? Let me ask both of you that question.
I think we could have kicked their ass. Oh, excuse me for my French. We could have kicked their butt. You know what? We did have a twin tower. They did have a twin tower too that I love so much. They have Patrick Ewing. They have Dolph.
Reggie.
My man from DC, Reggie Williams. They have
Michael Graham.
They have Michael Graham,
Billy Martin.
Michael Johnson. They have Michael
They were
Graham.
stacked.
Not the scary person that we need to talk about. That man was bad. He was a bad dude, man. Every time I watch some of his tape, man, he remind me of the young Charles Oakley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with the Georgetown uniform on. But that man was bad. I think I would leave him with Alonzo Mourning to handle him. And I could have taken care of Patrick Ewing myself on defense, not in the offense, because I don't want to talk about my offense here because
that's a very good idea.
No, everybody who know me will say that I was not the offense player. But Mark, you know that.
Well,
the reason I was not the offense player because Coach Thompson didn't want me to develop.
Well, in your defense, Dikembe, you are there's only two people with triple doubles in Georgetown's history, and you're one of them. Your triple double just happens to be in blocks.
Yes, for me getting a rebound and block shot, Big John told me, son, I will make you a millionaire. You don't have to worry about it. Just do these two things. Don't worry about them. Talking on somebody or shooting the ball from the 15 or 16 foot. That was not my job.
Markhum, it's a legitimate question. Yeah. It's a legitimate question. And I saw you online this week stirring up trouble. I saw that going back and forth. I can't get over the loss to North Carolina, or to Duke. There are losses that happen with the Twin Towers there that I'm still not over. So
I didn't watch that Duke game literally for 10 years. It might have been 11. I watched it at in New Orleans with Jaren Jackson. We looked at a tape of it and made me sick all over again, because that, in my eyes, that game is really the game that gave Duke kind of a launching pad. They had always been the team to come up short, and they got us.
Markham, they were an Adidas school before that. They got a Nike contract because of y'all.
Yeah, they did come over to Nike a few years later.
Yeah, so Dikembe, we can't even talk about that.
What's your answer to that? Dikembe answered the question.
He didn't answer the question. He didn't answer the question.
Oh, he did. He talked about matchups. So Dikembe, 89 against 84. Who wins?
89.
Thank you. He answered it. Gene Smith, let's hear your analysis of that.
Okay, so for me, the 82 team is the best team that I ever played on. I don't know if it's the best team on paper, but in just one game, I'm taking them, because that senior leadership was crazy.
Okay, 82, you're like these politicians. You're going to another question. I didn't say a word about 82. 84, you won the chip. You didn't leave any money on the table.
No, did not.
89, we left money on the table. Everybody knows one of the disappointing things about 89 for me, looking back, we were never ranked number 1 in the country. When we won the Big East championship, we played Syracuse. Actually, I'm gonna tell you something nobody's ever heard. In 89, we went through the Big East tournament like a hot knife through butter. We beat the brakes off of everybody. We played Syracuse in the finals. And it's my recollection that we ended up beating them by 9. That game was not that close. The only reason we beat them by 9 is because Big John put everybody in the game except for me and Raheem. I'm mad that me and Raheem didn't get some playing time in that game. But it was such a blowout, and when it was pretty apparent that we were going to win, I went to our captain, Charles Smith. I was a sophomore, and I was a senior manager, but Smitty was a senior. I went to Smitty and said, "Hey, man, let's dump the Gatorade on Big John." And Smitty was like, "Are you out of your damn mind? What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Smitty, we got to do this, man." He said, "Okay, we can do it. You do it. You the senior manager." I said, "Smith, you the captain. You can get away with this. If I do it, I got 2 more years here." So it never happened because I was too scared to do it, and Smitty thought it was crazy.
It is crazy. It was crazy.
that would have been a great moment. But yeah, so 84, 89.
84 beats 89 because of the guard play. The other stuff, I don't think Alonzo.
So just keep going.
For people who might not know, who were the guards on their team? So since you say y'all win because of the guards, I want you to do it.
So our guard play was Freddie Brown. His sophomore year, he was incredible. Steals, assists. If you watch the Louisville game, he almost single-handedly won the Louisville game before the North Carolina game.
As a sophomore, but we're talking
as a sophomore.
This is a senior Freddie Brown.
Okay, my bad.
84.
Okay.
I keep having to pull you back.
Oh, you had to pull me back. I'm sorry. 84, you got Michael Jackson, you got Horace Broadnax, you got David Wingate, you have Reggie Williams.
Reggie Williams is not a guard.
Don't forget.
Reggie Williams is not a guard.
Okay, small forward. Okay. Give it a take.
Bill Martin.
What's
No,
that?
Dikembe, he said the
Bill.
guards.
I'm
So
just
you
doing
got
guard.
Michael
I'm just saying
Jackson,
guard play.
Freddie Brown,
Freddie
Dave
Brown,
Wingate.
Wingate, Michael Jackson, Horace Broadnax, and myself.
So that was 5.
That's a 5. Give me your 5.
Gene Smith, Horace Broadnax, Dave Wingate, Michael Jackson, and Fred Brown.
Fred Brown.
I'm gonna see your 5 guards, and I'm gonna give you Jaren Jackson,
Yes.
Mark Tillman, Dwayne Bryant,
Yes.
Bobby
Charles Smith.
Winston. Bobby Winston, who
Yes.
was a hell of a glue guy. And then I'm gonna top it off. I'm gonna give you a little. I'm not gonna give you a regular margarita. I'm gonna give you a Cadillac margarita with what is that, Grand Marnier in there with the tequila, and give you the Big East Player of the Year, Charles Smith.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Big East Player of the Year, I'm going to spend 20 minutes on him. 20 minutes. Right? So,
Are you gonna get 20 minutes in that game?
What's that?
Are you gonna get 20 minutes?
I'm going to get 20 minutes.
Michael Jackson.
I averaged 23 minutes a game my senior year. I'm going to get 20 minutes.
Okay.
I got numbers over here. I got numbers. So I'm on Smitty for half of the game.
Okay.
The rest of that shit you named, no, nothing against them. But in one game, we got them. We just got them. Because defensively, as good as you were in the paint, you guys hardly pressed in that game that you lost against Duke, and I'm scratching my head because when you started to press, you caught up.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if we didn't press, that didn't have anything to do with us because we were very well equipped. I always tease Mark Tillman about not being able to handle the ball at his size, but let's be real clear, Mark Tillman and Jaren Jackson were some absolute dogs on defense. They were dogs. I think, like, I would call that a wash, to be honest. I would call the guards a wash. I think your chance would be with the bigs, because we're not talking about senior Dikembe Mutombo, Hall of Fame Dikembe Mutombo. We're talking about Dikembe Mutombo, his first year playing basketball at the high level.
Don't forget, I was the MVP at the Yates.
Yeah, so if you look at for years, I thought Dikembe didn't play in the Duke game, and it blew my mind because in '89, Dikembe didn't. He probably started a few games, but he wasn't a regular.
No. I averaged 5 minutes, Mark.
Yeah.
I didn't play until we got close to the biggest tournament.
Right. So against Duke, he played about 5 or 6 minutes, but throughout the year, when Alonzo got in foul trouble, Dikembe would get a lot of time.
Right.
Alonzo got in foul trouble against Duke, and Dikembe did not get those minutes that he usually would have gotten. And I believe to this day that if Dikembe had been out there, just being out there at 7'2", that's imposing.
That's the issue. Let me ask you a question. Okay, my apologies for the 82 Fred Brown. I will apologize for that. I just got excited about the 82 team. Can we just sum this up in that Reggie Williams would have been the difference maker? Because that's what you were.
I have a lot of great respect on Reggie, man. He was my teammate. He was my brother, my mentor. Yes. He's the one who took care of me when I went to the NBA for my first 5 years. When you talk about Hoya Paranoid, Hoya brothers, my heart always goes to him because he took care of me. And you talk about mentorship, preparing me when I was there in practice, on the road, make sure I was doing what I was supposed to do. But Reggie could have caused us a problem, but we could have figured out something to do with him.
Reggie would have been a problem. I will give you that. But again, freshman Reggie Williams, and that would have been a problem.
Freshman Reggie Williams,
it was a problem. No question about it. But what I would say is probably as as we look at the entirety of the roster, you could make the
You can only
argument.
play 5 at a time, so you can look at that roster all you want.
I'm saying, but you could make the argument that the rosters actually might come out even. We had 2 Hall of Famers. Y'all had 1, a top 50 guy. We got guys that won NBA championships. You guys don't. I would like to think, in my humble opinion, that it would have come down to who made the best Gatorade. And I'm going to take myself over David Green.
I can't think of a better way to end, because I see Dikembe over there getting a little antsy. I want to thank you both for your time, man, and your Hoya love. Keep doing what you're doing. Markhum, I can't thank you enough for always helping me with the show, producing the show. Last thing, I want to give a shout out to Tyler Crawford. You know, keep getting better, keep getting well. We hope to see you soon on Hoya Locker Room. Thank you both, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Let's stay in touch.
Thank you for having me, guys, and I appreciate that, man. I'm looking for you guys to bring me back when the young men get on the hilltop.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We would like that.
Otherwise, I'll give you a no.
I knew I was gonna get that. And Dikembe,
that we'll take that. A Mutombo and Mutombo show. We'll do that.
Yes, we'll take that. Yeah. And when I get my coffee, my Mutombo coffee, I will be texting you my review.
Now, Mark, get your coffee soon.
Thank you, fellas.
All right, guys. Love you guys, man. Take care.
Take care.
All right.